So now we are going to discuss about linear interpolation method. Means by using straight line methods, linear interpolation means we are going to construct a straight line. So by using straight line, we are going to find the root. So it is known as linear interpolation method. So actually two methods are there in this linear interpolation, that is second method and false position method. So two methods are the second method and false position method. Okay, so please note we are approximating the given function by using a linear straight line very near to the root. So this is applicable within a very small interval. Okay, so that small interval must be very close to the actual root. So at that point we are assuming that the given function is a straight line. Okay, so by using that concept we are going to find the root. Okay, so two methods are the second method and false position method. Okay, so assume that f of x is linear in the vicinity of root, means very near to the root. We are assuming that f of x is linear. So say this is the function. This straight line is the x-axis. Okay, so this is x-axis, and this curved one, blue colored one, is the function f of x, and this one is this point is the actual root. That one is labeled as r. So very near to this root, we are assuming that the function is linear. You can see that this is linear very near to the root. Okay, so here we need two initial conditions. One is A and second one is B. We are taking two initial conditions. So please note, linear interpolation method requires two initial conditions A and B. So, but most important one is for second method, the sign of f of a, this is f of a, this is f of a, and value of function at B, this is f of B. Okay, so the sign of f of a and f of B are not important. Means the position of B and A are not important. A and B must be very close to R. Otherwise, the position of B and A are not important. Okay, so please note one thing. If you are taking initial condition, so you have two initial condition. Out of that two initial condition, B must be very close to R than A. B must be very close to A than A. How can you identify that? If B is very close to R, definitely magnitude of f of B will be less than magnitude of f of A. Okay, so compare the magnitude of f of A and f of B. So if f of the value of initial condition, that one is smaller, you have to take that initial condition as B. So for suppose if magnitude of f of A is less than f of B, if this condition is occurred, then you have to swap A and B. Why? B must be, or f of B must be smaller than f of A. Otherwise, you have to swap A and B. So please note that one is an important point. So always f of B, magnitude of f of B must be less than f of A. Now draw a straight line. So you can see a yellow color here. Draw a straight line through point A and point B. So these are 2 points. So to these 2 points, draw a straight line. This is A comma f of A point. This is B comma f of B point. So through these 2 points, a straight line is drawn. So what is happening? You can see that this straight line is intersecting with this x-axis at this point, not at R. It is intersecting on some another point that is very close to R. So we can select this intersecting point C. So we are taking that intersection point as C. So this one is a point at which the straight line is intersecting with x-axis. Okay. So I told you C is not equal to R. C will be equal to R if and only if the given function is a linear function. If the given function is a linear function, then definitely C will be equal to R. Otherwise, C will not be equal to R. So please note that. Okay. So please note the position of A and B are not important. I told you. Similarly, so C may be lying left to R or right to R. That we don't know because we don't know the value of R. So C may be lying left to her, C may be lying right to her. In some situations, C may be lying between B and A. The position that we don't know. One thing is sure, we have a new value C by using this straight line. Okay. And one more thing is you have to note, C is exactly equal to R if we have a if the given function is a straight line. Okay. So please note, f of x were truly linear. If f of x is truly linear, then the straight line would intersect the x-axis at root r. So please note, if the given function is linear, otherwise it will not happen. So here we are assuming that f of x is not linear. We are discussing about that f of x is not linear. So if f of x is not linear, now we are going to construct the or we are going to utilize the equation of straight line equation. What is the equation of straight line? Equation of straight line is a minus c divided by f of a minus f of c, that is equal to a minus b divided by f of a minus f of b. Please note, this is f of a, that is value of a, this is f of b, and this is c. So at c, value of function is f of c. Okay. So by using the equation of straight line, we have a minus c divided by f of a minus f of c, that is equal to a minus b divided by f of a minus f of b. But by using this equation, we can't find the root iteratively. That is not possible. So for that purpose, we are going to use one assumption. We are assuming that this f of c is 0. Actually, it is not true, but we are assuming that f of c is equal to 0. So please note, we are introducing a small error. Otherwise, we can't solve the problem. Okay. So assume that f of c is equal to 0. So what about this equation? This equation will become a minus c divided by f of a equal to a minus b divided by f of a minus f of a. So please note this equation, a minus c divided by f of a equal to a minus b divided by f of a minus f of b. Is it okay? So now, by rearranging this equation, you can find c. Please go through this equation. You can see that c is the new point that is unknown to us. But except c, we know all other terms. We know a, but that is the initial condition. We know f of a. We know b. We know f of b. So by using the remaining terms, we can find c. Okay. So please note, the new point c is equal to the new point c is equal to a minus f of a into a minus b divided by f of a minus f of b. Please note, c is equal to a minus f of a into a minus b divided by f of a minus f of b. Can anyone say what is this one? You can see that is the reciprocal of slope. Okay. So f of a minus f of b divided by a minus b is actually reciprocal of slope of that straight line, that yellow color. Okay, very good. Okay. So anyway, c is equal to a minus f of a into a minus b divided by f of a minus f of b. So now we have a new point. So by using this new point c, we can continue our iteration. So how to continue that iteration? We have to take a equal to b and we have to take b equal to c. Substitute means now take this one is the new a. Now take this one is the new b. Now by using this a and b, we have to continue this iteration. So this new a and b will give new c. So like that way, you have to continue the iteration. But don't forget one thing, always magnitude of f of b must be less than magnitude of f of a. In previous slide, I asked you to note that. Sorry, magnitude of f of a. If magnitude of f of a less than magnitude of f of b, please swap a and b. Okay. So through problem we can learn all these things. So for comparison purpose, we are always, for all this method, we are going to take the same example. Okay. So this is the equation that we are going to use. Okay. So put it in a rectangular box. C is equal to a minus f of a into a minus b divided by f of a minus f of b. That we are going to use. One more thing is that in some test book, you can see C is equal to b minus f of b into b minus a divided by f of b minus f of a. That is also right. Okay. Instead of a, you can see b, and instead of b, you can see a. So there is no wrong in that. So I am going to use this equation. Okay. So take this equation. Find the root of f of x is equal to x cube plus x square minus 3x minus 3, that is equal to 0. So you already know the value of that root, but by using second method we are going to find that. Find the root of f of x is equal to x cube plus x square minus 3x minus 3 equal to 0. So for that purpose, what is the initial condition that we are going to take? We are going to take the initial condition as 1 and 2. Take 1 and 2 as the initial condition. Okay. So draw this tabular column, that is iteration number A, B, f of A, f of B and C. Okay. If you want, you can add one more column, that is f of C. If you are using f of C as the stopping condition, then you need one more column, that is f of C. Okay. So this is iteration number 1. So first iteration, what is the initial condition? First iteration, A is 1, B is 2. B is 2. So what is the value of f of A? 1 plus 1, 2, minus 3. So I think minus 4. Minus 4 is the value of f of A. And what is the value of B? Value of B is 2 cube, that is 8, plus 2 square, that is 4. So 8 plus 4, 12, minus 3 into 2, that is minus 6. So 12 minus 6 is 6, minus 3. So that is 3. So f of B is 3. Now you have to find C. So what is C? So before writing the tabular column, exam point of view, always write that equation. It will help you. C is equal to A minus, then what we have? F of A into this is A minus B divided by f of A minus f of B. So can you say what is the value? Anyone? The value of C is 1.5714. By using this method, where A equal to 1, B equal to 2, then minus 4, that is f of A, f of B is 3. You can see that magnitude of f of B is less than magnitude of f of A. So there is no need to swap these two. So C is equal to 1.5714. Now what is the second iteration? Second iteration, you have to take A equal to B. So new A is this B. So this is 2. And what about the new B? New B is this C. Okay. So B is equal to 1.5714. So there is no need to find f of A again, because previous B is current A, means previous f of B is current f of A. So this is 3. Now you have to find value of f of B, because B is 1.5714. So you have to find f of B. F of B is minus 1.3644. F of B is minus 1.3644, means substitute 1.5714 into this equation. So we have minus 1.3644. So you can see that this magnitude is less than this magnitude, means f of B is less than f of A. So there is no need to swap these two terms. So now you can find C. C is equal to A minus f of A into A minus B divided by f of A minus f of B. Okay. So if you are substituting these values, you have C is equal to 1.7054. So in third iteration, this B will become, so this is third iteration, so this B will become new A. So this is 1.5714 and this C will become new B. So that is 1.7054. So new f of I is f of 1.5714. So we already have that value corresponding to this one. So that is minus 1.3644. So now you have to find B value, f of B value. So that is minus 0.2477. So f of B is minus 0.247. So this is f of B. So you can see that the magnitude of f of B is less than magnitude of f of A. Means B is very close to root than A. That is indication. Okay. Now we can find C. So C is 1.7351. C is equal to 1.7351. For me, the fourth iteration values are A is 1.7054. The previous B is taken as new A, 1.7054. The previous C value is taken as the new B, 1.7351. Now f of A is minus 0.2477. Then f of P, that is f of 1.7351 is 0.02393. You can see that the function value is becoming small. Now it is 0.02393 corresponding to this value. Now the new C is 1.7320. So after fourth iteration, I have C is equal to 1.7320. So the previous value and the current value are not equal. So we have to continue. A large difference is there. So we have to continue. So I am going to show you the next iteration. So the fifth iteration is, so in fifth iteration, this B is taken as A. So A is equal to 1.7351. Then B is the previous C, that is 1.7320. Okay. So you can see that f of A is equal to 0.02393. F of A is equal to 0.02393. Now what about f of B? F of B is f of 1.7320. So you can see that f of 1.7320 is minus 0.00005. Already we have 4 digits. Okay. So it is giving a new C 1.7321. So new f of C is equal to 1.7321. Okay. So if you are finding f of C value, means the value of this function at this particular C, you can see that that value is something around minus 0.00004 something. Means if you are rounding it to 4 significant digits, it is 0. Okay. So I actually use f of C as a stopping condition. Okay. You can see that the previous value and current value are not equal. But I am stopping here because if you are taking the corresponding f of C value, it is rounded to 0 if you are using 4 significant digits. Means the fifth digit is less than 5. So if you are rounding that, definitely it is 0. Here C values, the program is terminated here. So C value is 1.7321. So we are taking this C as the root of this given equation, f of x equal to x cube plus x square minus 3x minus 3, that is equal to 0. So the root is equal to 1.7321. So this is root. Okay. So you can see that we use bisection method and second method to find the root of the same equation. But what is the difference? In bisection method, it took around 17 steps, 15 to 17 steps. But here we took 5 or 6 steps. If you are comparing the previous value and current value, it will take 6 steps. So number of steps are largely reduced. Means speed of convergence is large. Okay. So if you are comparing with bisection method, the main advantage is, the first thing is the new point is very close to the root than the bisection method. If you are applying this bisection and second method in a complex problem, it will give a very close value. Second thing is rate of convergence is faster than bisection method. Actually, we not discussed about what is rate of convergence. I told you rate of convergence is speed of convergence. It is actually determined by using error, current error and the previous error. Okay, so if it is bisection method, I will discuss about speed of convergence later. But for a time being, the speed of convergence or region of convergence, speed of convergence, rate of convergence of bisection method is 1. Please note the rate of convergence of bisection method is 1. And rate of convergence of second method is 1.62. So please note that. So that is the main advantage of second method. Okay. Now disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? If you are taking second method, the main assumption is the function must be linear, very close to the root, very near to the root. The function must be linear. If it is not, the iteration may deviate away from the actual root. One example is this one. Take this one. This one is a function where r is the root, means this point is the root. Say the initial conditions taken are, this is one initial condition and this is the second initial condition. A and B are the initial condition. So you can see that f of b, that is this value, is less than this value. F of b is less than f of a. So there is no need to, magnitude of f of b is less than magnitude of f of a. So there is no need to swap a and b. No need to swap a and b. So now what we are doing? We are going to draw a straight line through these 2 points. Right? So C is the new point. If you are drawing straight line, it is intersecting with the x-axis at point C. So you can see that C is, means the new value is deviating away from R. Is it okay? And one more problem is there. After finding C, what we are doing? We are going to take this B as A for the next iteration and this value as B. Now this is A, this is B. Now what about f of A and f of B? This is f of A and this is f of B. So you can see that f of B is not less than A. So what we have to do? We have to swap these two. Swapping this one means this term will become B, this term will become A. Okay. So now this is A, this is B. That is, this value is A, this value is B. So now what we are doing? We are drawing a straight line through these 2 points. So it is intersecting at this point. So this is new C. And corresponding value is this one. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to swap. So we have to take the previous B. This is the previous B. We have to take this one as A and this C as B. So you can see that always C is lying within this particular region. C is always lying within this region. Means C is trapped inside this local minimum. This particular part is known as local minimum. So C is trapped within the local minimum. So please note, if the given function have a local minima or local maxima very near to the actual root, then the iteration may be trapped between 2 points. Meaning it will not converge. It will not converge to a point. It is continuously oscillating. It will oscillate between 2 points. It will not give an answer. Okay. So that one is the biggest disadvantage of second method. Okay. This is also the biggest disadvantage of Newton's method that we are going to discuss on tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay. It's the same disadvantage Newton's method have. Okay. But Newton's method have a facility to escape from this trap.